What is going on? This is AlTone, and this is the HolyStone HS175D. I want to first thank HolyStone. They sent this out to me for me to try out and give them my honest feedback on. So I really appreciate that. And I really wanted to share with you what my thoughts were on this drone. The very first thing that you're going to notice as you take the HolyStone HS175D out of the box is this wonderful case. I love the case. I think it's a fantastic, nice little solid case. I feel comfortable tossing this in the backseat of my truck. Inside the case is the drone, of course. In the top of the case, you have a nice little section with a zipper so that you can store the extra props and everything else that comes with the drone. As you open it up, it's got a little bit of padding that sits on top of the drone and the controller, and then in the bottom, you have the drone, the controller, and the batteries. So what comes in the case with the drone is the drone itself, the HS175D, the transmitter, which has a built-in battery, which is a 380 milliamp 1C LiPo battery. It takes about 60 minutes to charge it. And then it comes with two drone batteries. They're LiPo batteries, 2-cell, 1700 milliamp hour batteries. And they take about 150 minutes to charge each. Then you have two charging cables. They do have LED light to indicate when they're charging, and they connect very easily to each of the batteries. And it comes with two cables, so you're able to charge both batteries at the same time. I would even possibly suggest going ahead and ordering an extra battery for this drone if you're really enjoying it like I am, because the batteries themselves are also pretty inexpensive. Then you also have the USB charging cable. It has a micro USB connection on it for the controller, and it has one full set of props, as well as the prop screws and the little spacers that you need in order to install the props on the motors, a screwdriver, and the instruction manual. Now, the HolyStone HS175D is actually rated for about 23 minutes of flight time per battery. So with both batteries, you should get about 46 minutes of flight time. And that happens to be one of the most accurate ratings that I've seen, because I've gotten between 23 to 24 minutes of flight time with multiple tests with this particular drone. There's a number of different functions built into the HolyStone HS175D. So one of the functions is it does have a high and a low speed setting. Another function is the headless mode, and there are instructions in the manual to show you how to set up the headless mode. And the headless mode will essentially follow the direction based on the input that you give from the sticks, regardless of the direction that the drone is facing. It does have a return to home function, and it will return to home if it notices that the battery is low, if it loses signal, or if you hit the return to home button on the remote. When it goes into the return to home mode, if it is not at least 65 feet in elevation from the takeoff point, it will go up to 65 feet and then return to home. It does not have obstacle avoidance on it, so if it goes into a return to home state, you want to pay very close attention to make sure it's not going to run into any obstacles in the process. There's a human tracking function that is available in optical flow mode, but again, you have to go into your manual for instructions on how to change to optical flow mode. From there, you can actually use the human tracking mode. Then there's a GPS tracking mode. The drone will follow the GPS location of the mobile device which you have it connected to using the app. Believe it or not, it has a waypoint flight function. It does exactly what you tell it to do. It does not have obstacle avoidance built into it. So if you set waypoints, make sure that the area that you're setting those waypoints are in a place where it's not going to run into any obstacles. And then it has what's called surrounding flight. So what that does is if you put it in surrounding flight mode, it will take the GPS position where it's currently located at, and it will circle the spot where it was when you started the surrounding mode. So let's take a quick walk around the HolyStone HS175D. In the front here, of course, you have the HD camera, which has a photo resolution of 4096 by 3072p. It is a very, very small sensor, so you have to understand that it takes great photo and video, but with the smaller sensor, the sharpness is not going to be quite that high, but it is fantastic for sharing in social media. On the top, you have the power switch and the power indicator, which tells you how much charge the battery has. You have the arms, which can be folded out in any order. The HS175D actually has 2 props per motor. The motors are brushless motors. On the rear arms, you have the drone status indicator lights. There's a couple of different things that these lights will tell you. In the manual is the best place to look to be able to determine what those lights mean. On the back here, you have the battery bay. When you get it in the box, it has this little plastic piece here at the top, which protects the connectors for the battery. So you'll want to take that off and then put your battery back on before your first flight. On the bottom, your two rear arms actually have feet on the bottom along with the drone status indicator light. And then you have two other feet, and in the middle you have your optical flow lens for stabilization when you're 20 feet or less off the ground. And then you have an SD card slot. And this HolyStone HS175D will record its video and photos to the mini SD card in the mini SD card slot, and it will accept up to a 64 gig SD card. And the HolyStone HS175D weighs about 218 grams with the battery installed. Even if you were going to fly this at night, you could put an anti-collision light on top and still possibly be below 249 grams. So now let's take a look at the remote. On the very top is a phone holder. On the side, you have your power button, then your left joystick, which is also your trim adjustment. If you press the left joystick in, you can use the right joystick to trim out your drone. Right joystick is also the speed change switch. If you press it, it will change you from 50 to 100 for the speed. You have your one key takeoff button, your headless mode. If you short press, it will put you in headless mode. If you long press on that same button, it will start the compass calibration while the drone is still sitting on the landing pad. And next you have your return to home button. On the very top, you have 4 buttons. One is to take a photo. The other is to start and stop your video. And on the other side, you have your lens control button, which will move your camera up and down while you're in the air. On the bottom, you have the 2 folding handles, which give you a little bit more firm grip on the controller itself. And underneath one of the handles, you have the charging port. And then, of course, on the back, you have your flip-up antenna. And, of course, that's something that you want to remember to do before you take off is go ahead and flip your antenna up. Now, the HolyStone HS175D, like many drones, comes out of the box in mode 2 for your controllers. But the HolyStone HS175D will also change to mode 1. And you can simply change to mode 1 by pressing the record video button and holding it down while you turn on the transmitter. There's also an emergency stop function. You can activate the emergency stop function by holding down the record video button and the lens down button at the same time for 2 seconds. So the wonderful thing about the app for the HolyStone HS175D is that it maintains a flight record of your flights. You can get a look at your flight times and some other information. The app will record on your mobile device some of the video and photos that you've taken, but if you go into the SD card, the resolution and the video is going to be of a little bit better quality than what you would receive back to your mobile device. So I truly hope that this video helped answer some questions that you may have had on the HolyStone 175D. If it did, let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you have a fantastic day. I look forward to talking to you again in the next video.